Hello everyone, this is David with the Fish. I want to talk about a really important subject that's gotten to be kind of front and center for me here lately, and that's your aquariums and air. Air is what drives everything. It drives the filters, it drives the air stones, it keeps the water moving, it keeps the oxygen flowing. It becomes really important, and too often we don't pay enough attention to the air. So today I'm going to show you what happens when, I don't know if the pump got old, I don't know what it is, but the air just isn't happening, and what the new pump is going to look like. Now I'm going to put a little inset in that shows the pump I'm using now and what kind of pressures it does and flow, the pump I had before it and what it was supposed to be able to do, and then I'll show you what my new pump is. Strange thing is, the pump I'm currently using that is not up to the task actually specs as being much stronger than the pump I was using previously. The previous pump to that was running 80 aquariums with lots of air. Now I'm struggling with 40 aquariums to have enough air. Now what you have to do and how you know when things are going bad, I'll show you right now. You're looking at right here, here's a pump doing well. I like the way this one's moving. But right down here next to it, here's another pump, and as you can see, bubbling like that, it's accomplishing nothing. There's just not enough air making the trip to it. This one here, marginal. This one down here has almost quit completely. This yesterday was a super bubbler, going great guns. What happens is that I see this, I need more air, so I'll turn the crank up. Now it's running pretty good. But what happens is somewhere else is a filter that suddenly stopped working or slowed down. I can't split the air enough ways to keep it working. And when you do that, tanks start to look like this and like this, and they just get nasty looking. Now here's one on this tank running pretty good, but you know, it's a tiny little filter. We look at the one down here and it's not doing so good. Up here is another one. That filter's a waste of time. As we work around the fish room, we'll come to this poor fella. He's gasping for breath, trying to get a little air to run a pump. There's no filtration, no oxygenation, no water flow coming out of that pathetic little thing. Now, this is true throughout the aquarium room. All 40 of the tanks are all in much the same boat. This one filters quit completely. It's a 2.5 gallon tank. It ought to be able to run a filter with not much air. So what I'm running is this pump back here. It's a linear, and I'm going to replace it with a larger linear, but I will, as I said, put an inset in showing what all the pressures are. Now there's my UPS. That's my uninterruptible power. It's my battery backup. It goes to computers. Well, I'm running my air line off of it, and that keeps if the power goes out, which it blinks a lot here lately, this will keep uninterrupted power going to the filters. So I'm going to get set up and let me show you what the new one looks like now that you know how bad some of these other ones are pumping. I ordered this one off of Amazon. Never find any decent pumps in a pet shop, and you can a couple other places to order from, but Amazon was Amazon. So of course Amazon doing what they usually do is they tell you when you order you'll get next day delivery, and as soon as you hit the sign that says place my order, you suddenly get a new delivery date. Now what I ordered here is, see if we can see this thing. An Aqua Miracle linear air pump, 1,350 gallons per hour. There's your model number. It's an AP80. My old pump is an AP60 with like 950 gallons per hour, I think. So this one's considerably stronger. It's certainly considerably larger and heavier. So let's open this up and see what it looks like inside. I know it's heavier. Where's the opening here? With power cord. Okay, there's what it looks like. That's a pretty decent power cord. Hold the tubing on. Wow. There's a bazillion little airline connectors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. Won't use any of them. This is the rubber piece that fits right there. There's the clamp that helps hold it on. And I'm hoping this remotely fits what I already have over there, so we can do a quick connection. And this is I don't know what this is. Guess they'll want me to look at the directions. So I'll be right back. I'm going to clean some of the mess I've tossed behind me up and see how we're doing. Alright, now I'm going to get this unplugged from my UPS, which shuts off all the power. Pull the fitting off. Sure hope I can get that old one fit back in there. So here's the old one. Okay, there's your size differential. This is the old one. This is the new one. This is a AP60, I think. Pretty good little pump, but just could not do 40 tanks. And almost all the tanks have multiple airlines into them. So now I'm going to see if I can wrangle this thing into the space this thing takes up. Well, the fun part of the story is that to fit it through this space to here, I need like a 1/16 of an inch more. A 1/16 of an inch. Which means this aquarium has got to come forward a 1/16 of an inch. It's a 30-gallon sand, rocks, whatnot, 8 gallons sitting on styrofoam for balancing. It is not going to move with the water in it. So I'm going to try draining it down to this point, halfway, and hope that I can get it to shift just a little bit to get the pump in. So we'll be a little while here before we get back to our regularly scheduled program. So I drained half the tank down. I still couldn't move the tank. So what I ended up doing is getting out my knife and shaving off a little of that beam. Just enough to get it in there. So there we are. And we're going to put this on here. And then, that doesn't fit. Well, I'll be dang. Well. Never a dull moment in bedrock. I think that's going to be a little 3/4 inch piece is what that's going to want. So we'll go find one of those. Alright, took a minute to get the angles and stuff figured out to get it connected, and it still needs to get lifted up a little bit, but I got it turned on, and no question, we got air. We got lots of air. Here's my little pokey, guys. Check it out. We got, wow, the brine shrimp bottles are going ballistic. I'm actually going to need to open up some valves and let off a little extra air. So I go from no air to going to have to let some extra air off. Even this guy over here, who's down here in the bottom of a 29, he's got plenty of air popping out. This guy's looking good. Wow, what a difference. Okay, so now I go from not enough air to letting some bleed out. That's what you want, let some excess air bleed out. That means you got a little room for what'll be coming in life. So, as I said, I'm going to put the specs up, but that's the Aqua Miracle AP90. I had a 60. I'll put the specs up so you get to see what they look like. What they say they are and what they say they aren't. But this one has definitely solved my problem. I don't know how much it'll calculate out to be, but it's running 40 gallons, 40 tanks, and most of them have 2 filters in them. 2 sponge filters or 2 box filters. Some of them have 3. You got 20 there's got 1 there, 1 over there. You got 2 or 3. But finally I'm back in business on the air, and I would say that AP60 would do a great job for people who've got 10 to 20 aquariums. They do a fabulous job. Whatever they may claim, my experience is 10 to 20 aquariums, they'll do a great job. So this is David with the Fish. I hope this gives you some ideas, and maybe you need to look around and see if you need to solve your water problems, air problems, get your filters bubbling away again, cleaning the water. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.